Boy, it's been a long time since we've talked to our old buddy Don Siegelman, the former governor of Alabama, who Karl Rove, in my opinion, massively, illegally, immorally, and wrongly took down and just committed horrible crimes against Karl Rove committed the crimes. Governor Don Siegelman is on the line with us. Free-don.org is his website. His Twitter handle is Don Siegelman. Governor, welcome back.
Hey, thank you, Tom. I'm glad to be back.
It's great to have you with us. It's been a long time since we've talked. I wanted to discuss with you the death. There's a bunch of things I'd like to cover, actually. Let's start with the death of Jeffrey Epstein. You, as governor of Alabama, oversaw prison systems. You, after Karl Rove got done with you, were in a federal prison. And I'm guessing you have more than a passing familiarity with suicide watches in prisons.
Well, I volunteered for Suicide Watch while I was in Oakdale Federal Prison. Let me say that it is taken very seriously by wardens. The worst things that can happen in a prison is a murder of an inmate by another inmate or by a guard or a suicide, because it reflects poorly on the warden and diminishes their chances of promotion. So they do everything possible to prevent a suicide. At Oakdale, which is a podunk prison in the swamps of Louisiana, there is a glass cell, a small glass cell with a raised cement platform with a mattress on it and sheets. There is no overhead structure which could be used by the inmate to hang himself. There is no way for the inmate to hurt themselves without being observed for two reasons. One, there are guards watching 24 hours a day, 3 shifts, different guards coming in every 8 hours, viewing the suicide cell. In addition to that, there are inmates who serve as volunteers and sit outside of the glass structure. Now, in Oakdale, I was participating in Suicide Watch for a young African-American who was, I don't know whether it was a drug dealer or what the situation was, but let me say they take it very seriously. If you say you are depressed, they will put you in Suicide Watch. So it just stands to reason that if the prison system will go to this much effort to prevent a suicide by an unknown inmate, they would certainly do everything humanly possible to prevent Jeffrey Epstein from committing suicide. Particularly that he wasn't just depressed. It was reported that he tried to kill himself 3 weeks ago.
Right.
They're not gonna ever take their eyes off of that man.
Right, but they did. And apparently, I mean, the day that he was arrested, the FBI raided his home in New York City, the largest private residence in the city, which is pretty amazing. And the news reports were that they had found all kinds of photos and videotapes and even old, movies back in the days when it was, 8mm movies, home movies, apparently of not just Epstein having sex with some of these young women, but also some of his rich and powerful friends. I'm assuming that those are now in the possession of the Department of Justice, which is Bill Barr's department, which also ran the prison where Epstein killed himself. And then yesterday, they raided his island. Now, why did they wait until yesterday to raid the island, the private island, looking for more of this stuff? And what do you think? I mean, maybe this sounds paranoid, but I'm old enough to remember J. Edgar Hoover, who used to get this kind of information on people. He would, pictures of John Kennedy having sex with somebody or sneaking into some place. I mean, he had dirt on probably half the politicians in the United States, and he didn't prosecute them, and he didn't leak it to the press. He used it to make sure that nobody ever challenged his power. Am I going off in some weird paranoid direction here, Governor?
Tom, I don't think you could possibly go off in any weird direction when it comes to the question of Jeffrey Epstein's, I'm going to say, alleged suicide. This is just my opinion, Tom. If he committed suicide, it had to have been done with the complicity of someone in the prison system who decided that they were going to take their eyes off of him. It is not protocol.
And put him in a cell that's got some kind of overhead structure from which he could hang himself.
Well, it's just totally an anathema to what the policy and rules of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Prisons require for someone who has attempted to take their own life. So
right.
There is a breakdown. It's hard to believe, imagine, or fathom that something like this would happen by accident. Right. So, no, I don't think you're paranoid. And I think that if you're going to preserve evidence, you do it the moment that you make the arrest. The judge has already geared up. He's authorized the search and the seizure of any and all documents of any kind, shape, form, or fashion. All of that stuff should have been seized, at the time of his arrest.